As all of you know, the Warriors have been dominating the NBA for years now, and weirdly enough, they have a chance to make history again. Record-wise, they were the worst team in the NBA this year, and next year they have a chance to be the best once again. That's something you'd see in a King of the Fourth Quarter My League challenge video. But during the draft lottery, the Warriors ended up with the number 2 pick in the draft. Now obviously the Warriors are going to come out next year competing, so there's a lot of different options they can do with this number 2 pick, and today I'm going to be reviewing some of the possible prospects they can draft and 3 possible trade ideas that I constructed. There's huge opportunity for this number 2 pick with the Warriors, and what the Warriors do with this pick can make or break this coming season for them. But if you guys can just do me a big favor and scroll down there, leave a like and subscribe, that would really make my day, because this video took me about 3 hours to make it. It only takes you about 1 second to do both of those things and make my time I put into this totally worth it. So make sure to go down there and be expecting frequent NBA content. A couple days ago I made the same exact video but with the New York Knicks. I went over possible trade ideas for that pick. I went over possible prospect fits. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to go check that out, because if you like this one, you're gonna like that one. And if you're a New York Knicks fan, then make sure to go check that out. But without further ado, let's now get into this video. Let's start out with the draft prospects that I think will fit this Warriors team. Number 1 player for this Warriors team I'm going to be going over is my guy, Obi Toppin. He's been one of my favorite players in this draft for a while now. In my opinion, Obi can get by playing 2 through 5. Since the NBA is a positionless game, he fits with the Warriors, because as we know, the Warriors like to flip-flop their players in different positions all the time, and they've ran that small ball game before with Draymond at the 5. So inserting Obi at the 4 would be ideal. But let's get into Obi Toppin as a player. Coming in at 6'9", 220, you would not be wrong to compare this dude to Zion Williamson. He's similar to Zion on the fact that he loves to drive through the paint and he loves to work in the post. That's where he spends a lot of his time on the offensive end. And when it comes to defense, no, he's not the best defender, but he's freakishly athletic and he can get blocked. And that's similar to Zion. Zion hasn't been known as someone who can stick with you defensively or can match up 1 through 5. No, he's known as a freakishly athletic shot blocker, and that's similar to Obi Toppin. But yes, there is some flaws with Obi on the defensive end, I will say that. Obi can do everything on the offensive end. Freakish build, can drive to the paint, can shoot the ball. Just seeing him work on the basketball court, it kind of reminds me of Jason Tatum, just the smoothness to his game. Whenever I see him in the post, it just reminds me of Jason Tatum. This year at Dayton, he averaged 20 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and 1.5 blocks. Now his first year at Dayton, he put up an insane 52% from the 3-point line. This year putting up 39%, which is mostly due to him having an increased role on that Dayton offense and just shooting a lot more shots. 39% is still amazing from the 3-point line, so it's not a great sign that he dropped, but it is a great sign that he's shooting 40% from the field damn near. But the crazy thing is, this year he has a 63% field goal percentage. Imagine shooting a ball in a 5-on-5 game and knowing you have a 63% chance of it going in. That's something that hasn't been accomplished in the NBA, maybe by like Boban or something, but by no one who shoots from outside the paint. Obi as a put together player can really be something special in the NBA, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors snagged him here, because he's a perfect fit for that team. But let's move on to my next draft prospect. James Wiseman. Out of Memphis, he had a very weird college career. There was some weird dilemma thing with him in college, so he dropped out to focus on the NBA draft. But what we've seen from him so far is he's very shifty for a center, also an amazing shot blocker. And you guys are probably going to say, oh, James Wiseman can't shoot threes. Well, the majority of NBA centers coming out of the draft aren't originally 3-point shooters, and that was the case with Joel Embiid too. In the 3 games he played for Memphis, he put up 20 points per game and nearly 11 rebounds. And I know he only played 3 games, but this is a crazy stat. Averaging 3 rebounds per game. He's a beast. He's a freak of nature, and he's a great interior defender. The Warriors have been looking for a center, so I think this would be great for their team. I'm not worried about James Wiseman's shooting ability. I think it can come along just fine. But yeah, James Wiseman, look out for him, because he's going to be a scary sight to see in the NBA. Last prospect we're going to be looking at is Anthony Edwards. Now, I made a video about, I'd say like 5-6 months ago, saying Anthony Edwards is overrated. And while I am opening up to him a little bit more, I still think where he's being picked is too high. My thing is, Anthony Edwards doesn't really have one strength on the court, If the game just comes easily to him, he's not the best 3-point shooter, he's a good slasher, he's not the best defender, and he's really just a one-dimensional player, scorer who works in the mid-range area and just drives to the paint a lot. He's never been a consistent 3-point shooter, but I think that it factor that he carries, that dog mentality that he carries, can make him turn out to be a great player in the NBA. I found when he's in isolation, he has that hesitation down. Like, he could shift any defender in the snap of a finger, and finishing is where he's really strong at, but his shooting ability probably needs to get better. So I know the Warriors have a lot of guards, but this is probably the last possible prospect that I think makes sense. I don't see any way they take LaMelo because they have Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, and I'm pretty sure the Timberwolves will take LaMelo anyways. I see absolutely no way how Anthony Edwards fits with this Warriors team, but he would probably be the last possible prospect at this number 2 spot for them. Now let's get into these trade offers that I constructed. Now if you haven't already liked this video, that would mean a lot, man. Just go down and do it before I get into the next segment, and make sure to subscribe too. Now I do agree that it would make most sense for the Warriors to trade this pick. They're a contending team and they don't have time to build for the future when they have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on their team who are aging. So getting right now assets for this number 2 pick is probably what they should do, and there's a good chance that's what they will do. So let's go over some trades that would get them those now assets. First trade I have is with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder would be giving up Dennis Schroeder, Terrence Ferguson, a 2021 first round pick, 2023 first round pick, and a 2026 first round pick that is top 5 protected, and that one is from the Los Angeles Clippers. So they get 3 valuable picks and Dennis Schroeder, who put up 20 points per game. Dennis Schroeder, in my opinion, is better than Andrew Wiggins, and Andrew Wiggins is wildly overpaid. So getting Schroeder and Ferguson, who is a great rotational player and is a great defender, is what the Warriors need. They need depth and they need star power. So replacing Andrew Wiggins for Dennis Schroeder while getting valuable assets would make a lot of sense. So they have right now assets and future assets. Those 3 picks can all end up being lottery picks, and the Warriors could look like the Celtics when they made the Nets trade. But all I know is Andrew Wiggins is overpaid and Dennis Schroeder would be a great fit for this team coming off the bench, and they're getting 3 valuable first round picks. The Thunder, on the other hand, have picks until the world will probably be over. So trading a couple of them for the number 2 pick and possibly getting an Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball would be a good decision for them. So let's move on to the next trade idea that I constructed. Now this one you can say is surprisingly with the Atlanta Hawks. I got the Warriors giving Andrew Wiggins in that first pick for Clint Capella, Kevin Huerter, and the 6th pick. This is probably like the fairest trade I constructed. All the trades I made were fair in my opinion, but this one is just probably the fairest. Now, it would suck for Clint Capella to be shipped off without even playing a game for the Hawks, but, you know, it's kind of just how the business works sometimes. Kevin Huerter is a 3-point god, 3-point specialist, and I don't even need to say it. The Warriors, they die for them. All they want is 3-point specialists, so this would make a lot of sense. But Kevin Huerter would be great coming off the bench for the Warriors. And with this number 2 pick, they'd probably take Anthony Edwards because, as we know, he went to Georgia. Hawks fans have been raving about Anthony Edwards coming to Atlanta, so I think that's a possibility. And if they do this, obviously that'll happen. But the Hawks get Andrew Wiggins, who's still very talented, but obviously overpaid. But if they want to make this happen, they'll have to do something like this. And I think this is beneficial for the Warriors because, one, at that number 6 spot, there's a lot of good players still, like maybe Onyeka Okongwu, Isaac Okoro, Tyrese Halliburton. And since they don't need an immediate future right now, that number 2 pick is worth giving up for what they're getting. So I think this makes sense. The Hawks are getting a better future. So tell me what you guys think. Now, I know who you see in the thumbnail, Mr. Joel Embiid, and I actually discussed this trade possibility in a couple of my other videos. But this trade is simple. Andrew Wiggins, the number 2 pick, and a future first round pick in 2022 for Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, you can argue, is the best center in the league, and if not, he's definitely number 2. I think in the right system, with the right players around him, Joel Embiid could be a real leader and be certified best center in the league. The Warriors haven't had a real big man in forever. Their last real big man was David Lee, and before that it was Wilt Chamberlain. So getting Joel Embiid here would be amazing. We'll finally have a center to work around, and I can just see that Steph to Joel Embiid lob action going on. Because if the Warriors want to get someone like Joel Embiid, they're going to have to give up a lot. And that's going to take Andrew Wiggins, the number 2 pick, and a future first round pick. As we know, the Sixers have been rumored to be breaking it up and trying to rework things there in Philadelphia, so doing this wouldn't be that detrimental to the team. They get future and they get Andrew Wiggins, who can slide into that small forward spot. Yeah, I can definitely see them taking Anthony Edwards with that number 2 pick that they're getting. So yeah, this makes sense for both teams. The Sixers are moving on from Joel Embiid finally, and the Warriors are getting that star center they've always wanted. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed my take on this number 2 pick, and make sure to do all that good stuff in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and make sure to comment your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one.